Today I'm going to share with you why America is great. Wow, that sounds like I'm at a Trump rally.
I wake up, flex, I'm down that check. No drip, this wet. Tell 'em run it up. No sleep.
Okay, take two. Sorry, I just had to say that. Calm down, right-wingers. This video is not about you or whatever the heck you believe in. In the past few weeks, some people have labeled me as anti-American. By some, I mean people that are blindly in love with the USA. I've been told, if you don't like America, then why don't you leave and go back to Germany? I've been labeled as narrow-minded, that I am with the right wing, which is so strange. That's like literally the furthest from the truth. It's like if you thought that, then you are definitely on a fucking bad trip, and I don't want any of whatever the heck you're smoking. And sometimes I've been labeled as being totally on the left side. It's like I don't even know what to say. And this is one of the biggest problems I see in the American society today. For the most part, I believe we Americans have become extremists. You either are on the extreme right or on the extreme left. I'm definitely not right. Wait, that sounded funny because, yeah, well, you guys know what I meant. So I'm definitely not right-wing at all, but that doesn't mean that I am the extreme leftist. Can there not be just a happy middle ground where we don't categorize people, where we don't discriminate, we don't hate, and instead we promote human rights equally across the board? I mean, to me, that is the most basic moral code of being human. If you are new here, I am Jay and my other half is STEPHAN, who's behind the camera. Half of the year we live in Germany and the other half we live here in California. So some people are angry and offended because I choose to talk about difficult topics. Topics such as human rights, worldly issues, sociological issues, and philosophies. The last few weeks we've been focusing on the flaws within the American culture and American society. Somehow that gets translated into I hate America. Well, Stephan's not in front of the camera, so he doesn't get blamed for that. I do. Well, in reality, I actually don't hate America. It's quite the opposite. And I'll explain why at the end of the video.
Look at my neck bright. I get that check right. I'm so blessed, right? Off of that jet pipe. Off of that side. I'm in that new coupe. My nigga, I been fired. I said what I said, right? Yeah, I get that check right.
Being a powerful democratic nation comes with a price, and that price is hate groups, communities which foster racism, or people which openly take advantage of the constitutional rights to create a classist society. Or, in the most basic example here, people hiding behind a screen and projecting hate in the comment section. Today, however, I will digress and share with you 3 achievements of the USA which have influenced the world in a positive way. So there's no doubt that the United States of America has been and currently is world's most prominent and most important economic military power. On April 2nd, 1917, President Woodrow Wilson declared that the world must be made a safe democracy. These 8 words would change the course of the USA. The USA entered into World War I and soon would become a global leader while promoting democracy in its foreign policy. See, up until World War I, the USA practiced isolationism. When the USA broke this practice and entered into World War I, it became a huge influence globally. Some historians refer to this time as the dawn of global age. Fast forward to today's time, it has continued to remain in this position and currently has the world's 3rd largest population with an economy which produces 1/4 of the entire world's wealth. That's pretty amazing. Don't get me wrong though, there are flaws, and I've addressed those flaws in a few of the past videos. Not everything which shines is gold, but the fact is that the USA is an economic powerhouse Even through the pandemic, the USA GDP in 2021 was nearly $23 trillion, making it #1 in the world, and it has been since the 1920s. That is fucking amazing. And if that is not amazing enough for you, the USA has the second most purchasing power in the world. And what comes out of this strong economic power? Well, the USA is home of many entrepreneurs which are celebrated throughout the world. Walmart, Amazon, Apple, CVS, Berkshire Hathaway, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Tesla. And out of 100 top companies in the world, the USA is home to 59 of them. And that, I think, is pretty impressive. The USA is also the biggest contributor to international aid. In 2021, the USA budgeted $38 billion in international aid. 25% of the budget was dispersed to these top 10 countries. And these countries received only economic assistance and no military funding. The majority of economic aid has been designated for areas such as emergency responses, food security, and maternal and child health, which again, I think it's just amazing. After World War II, American pop culture became a global influence. I'm talking about films, talking about music, talking about television. And the first time I remember when I went to Germany with you, and to me, it was so amazing that your parents didn't speak English at all back then.
Yeah.
And on the radio, there were always, I remember your dad in the morning was always singing along
without knowing the lyrics.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, he knew the lyrics. That was like the weird part for me. I was like, wait, he doesn't speak English.
Yeah.
But yet, there was, so on the radio, every morning, even now, they play, which is a radio station?
Bayern 1.
Bayern 1. So in Bavaria, there's Bayern 1. And the radio station every morning plays music from, or American songs from the 70s and the 80s. And some of the songs I've never even heard of. And they were playing these songs and I was like, oh, I've never heard that song before, but your dad would always be like singing along.
True. Yeah.
So that was kind of like a very strange but fun experience for me. I just wanted to share that with you guys. Anyways, the American media broadcasting around the world brought the American culture influence into the world. Movies like Star Wars, Superman, Spider-Man, Back to the Future, American Graffiti, Do the Right Thing, one of my favorite movies, by the way, The Shawshank Redemption, It's a Wonderful Life, Anatomy of a Murder, Ratatouille, Goodfellas, Double Indemnity, also one of my favorite movies, The Godfather, The Wizard of Oz, and my ultimate favorite movie. I say ultimate, but I have so many, Pulp Fiction. Also through media, the Americanized English is the most spoken language in the world. And this reminds me of a point. Did you know that the USA does not, I repeat, does not have an official language? So there you go, all the Karens and all the Kevins out there. Next time you hear someone talking other than English and you get on your racist rant, remember this fact. And to make things more interesting, there are actually 350 to 430 languages spoken in the USA today. And when I go out with my mom, I actually speak only Hindi or Punjabi. No matter where we are, I'm always speaking Hindi or Punjabi with her. And so far, I've never had anyone tell me off. Granted, we live in California when we're here. Maybe that is the reason. But it's actually the opposite. People generally, when they hear us speaking, they want to know what we're speaking. Then there is the American culinary. It's known to be the most diverse in the world. Well, although it is diverse, quality of food is lacking here in the USA. When we go to, I don't know if you agree or not, but when we're traveling within Europe, that's one big thing that it's always in the back of our mind when we come back to USA. We always complain about the food here.
Yeah, especially when we cook at home, because the tomatoes taste like tomatoes.
Yeah.
The veggies are really you taste them, they're different.
Yeah, I think it's the produce out here, the quality of the produce or just the ingredients, it's lacking. So maybe that's why when you go to a restaurant, It's different. It just I don't know. The taste is not there.
no.
The quality is not there, and therefore the taste is not there. But at the same time, there are amazing restaurants here, depending on where you are in the USA. So if you're in Los Angeles, if you're in San Francisco, if you're in Chicago, New York City, Miami, Seattle, any of the big cities, the food is amazing. You can find very diverse, amazing food. And while we're talking about food, another point which we see a big difference in between USA and Germany or Europe in general is also going out for drinks. I mean, that's a huge thing for me when I'm there, because I love a martini, like a good martini.
And you get it anywhere here.
Yeah, here you get it anywhere. You walk into any restaurant, any bar, any hotel, there's like abundant list of different kinds of martinis. The cocktail culture is just so vast here in the USA, which is, I don't say lacking, it's not so prominent
In Europe.
in Europe, in general in Europe. It's a limited menu, so you don't have that many options.
But they don't even know. Cocktails are not everywhere. They have wine, anything, but cocktails is not always an option.
That's true, especially in Germany. It's always beer and wine.
That's always, yeah.
Which is amazing, because the beer is amazing. And when I'm there, I actually don't crave. In Germany, for some reason, I don't crave cocktails. But as soon as we travel around Europe, especially when we're down in Italy, sometimes I just want like a martini, if it's like a date night or whatever. I don't know, I just kind of miss that. The USA is number 3 in military personnel, but still it remains to be a superpower when it comes to military influence. And it remains to be the only superpower in the world. The USA also has the largest naval fleet in the entire world. And combined this with the geographic location, it allows the USA to have a military presence anywhere in the world. There are 3 key factors that are advantage to the USA. It's geography, its demographics, and its political institutions. Geographically, the United States only has 2 neighbors, Canada and Mexico. And for the most part, it has a well-established relationship with both countries. Don't believe what Trump said. He does not count. He does not even matter. The USA also has quite an abundance of natural resources. Now, all of this is great, but as I said before, not everything which shines is gold. And therefore, the United States is a flawed democracy. We have an abundance of social and economic issues, and sometimes I feel like this country is just a mess. But compared to its rival powers, it's still pretty darn amazing. In addition to these 3 key factors of the USA's influence on the world, the USA is also a founding member of the United Nations and is the biggest contributor to UN's budget. The UN, however, is an interesting place because the 5 members of the UN Security Council are USA, France, UK, China, and Russia. This would be a great deep dive video in the future because none of them play fair. The USA is also a dominant player in NATO, the North American Treaty Organization. And because of NATO, the USA is even stronger today. And because of NATO, the democratic values in this world are stronger than ever before. So I hope now this gives you an understanding of what my thoughts are in how I appreciate or recognize that USA is an awesome place. But that doesn't mean that I don't have the right to criticize a country which I am a citizen of. If we don't talk about the flaws within our own countries or within our own communities, then how are we going to grow from this? How are we going to be progressive? How are we going to bring change into this world? And that is what my agenda is. That is what our agenda is, right? And that is what our brand also stands for. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.
Yeah. Okay. Hold up. Yeah. I'm chasing a bag, I'm racing the clock. Look at them block, watching them flop.